it's KRBrickBot, and this is part 5 and finale of Jurassic month as I look at all the fusions in one review. Each of the double combinations that all go onto Jupinocops, and the combination of all 4 of them into the perfect Juraking. First up, going over the combination between Jupinocops and Firesaurus. So yeah, just take off all the extremities. You're just basically splitting this in half. Focusing on one half. For the lower arm, just fold it all up, slide it all in, scrunch it up. And then for the side, yeah, turn it to the side, turn the tread shoulders upwards, and then fold that foot in. There we have an arm. For Jupinocops, just simply fold his arms back, and I assume to turn these around or just take these off and then switch them around. Then you have the arms hanging out back here, so be sure to clip those in. And then masking up for the coolest factor, and then flip out the pegs. Then just spread the arms out and then just squish them in there. Yeah, these things don't exactly lock in and they kind of tend to slide up. Yeah, friction up, so really I've got to keep it straight. And don't forget to slide the cores on the back of these dino heads. Yep, so we have the Buster mode. Just 2 giant hulking busting arms. Yeah, it's a style to have 2 absolutely massive stacked shoulders and non-hands. Just some crumpled up shaped dino weapons. So yeah, they don't look nearly as cool as the drill or the Ankylo cannon. So I guess the best you can do is just flip out the head a bit. So it looks like it's more for weapons. Yeah, but they're not dedicated pieces separately for dino-shaped weapons. I guess the balance is fine with its Jupinocops' pretty large feet. But if those ratchets give out, yeah, that's gonna might go top heavy. As articulation goes, it can't quite go backward because of the just that much getting in the way, but it can go a little backward like this. The foot joint does make it go pretty good outward, and the thigh joint does nicely double as a bicep swivel, with the mounting right on the side and not directly down because that's the leg joint. So yeah, that's something. And these parts have absolutely nowhere to go, not even a hammer. Okay, you can't expect that much reliable functionality from these big bulky combined modes, but I guess this Buster mode is it's just good for that bulky power of look. Jetsaurus cannon mode, so that goes mostly from the jet. It's based off of the jet, so let's get into the jet as much as possible, taking out those wings again. So after remembering how all those fidgety bits go in, yeah, and then for the jet mode, you can just fold those out and then put those perpendicular to each other. So fold that down a bit. Then reattach the wings. Yeah, the clip here. Then fold this out. Then the extra last step is putting the koa core and then just flipping it up here. Instead of the back here, it's up here. I guess it's just to simulate the power core for the cannon. Okay, you can just be sure to lock this little beam into these little nubs. Which, yeah, theoretically should hold that cannon in place, but yeah, you know, this is very forward heavy, so it's always going to be drooping even if you lock it in properly, so yeah, you're going to have to hold it up a bit. Yeah, I guess that's cannon mode. Yeah, this is mostly involved putting the wings down and just bling out the middle of the leg to kind of simulate an energy cannon. Doesn't look like it has a barrel. Yeah, it's just this coming out of that. And the Jupinocops just stands behind it. Yep, that's it. There's your combination. Yeah, you just kind of just imaginatively just man the tail fins here, and then maybe you load something in the back for different projectile, and then yeah, I guess just if you can hold on to these at least, then just go firing some super powerful energy beam. This is a arbitrary third mode that's pretty novelty gimmick. If this is what the combination is, this is probably not the best kind of combination. I would have expected like a jetpack flight mode, which I did figure out how to fan mode. Jurassic fusion with Marinesaurus. The head already tucked in there because, you know, I'm not taking that out. Yeah, so easy thing, take off the arms and then split it at the waist. Then yeah, I guess this splits into two extra big feeties. With that leg, just collapse it in, and then fold this foot all the way around, and then fold these down so that it forms a giant 3-toe foot. That's pretty neat how this looks like this. And then don't forget this kneecap, which flips out into a nice heel spur. And I don't know what you do with that other half of the leg. Just make sure it doesn't get in the way, and then just fold this off to the side, and then flip out a little connector at an angle. For Jupinocop's feet, just flip out these little black tabs. That's what they're for, to go into these square holes. And then don't forget to flip out those feet and then connect it here and here. They're just two connection points for Jupinocop's feet, and you would think you would also use these, but not really. Nice click. Yeah, that's a little slippery, that one. Take the two pieces of back cable and then just fold them up and clip them onto the sides here. I guess that does kind of mean you have to get this little flap kibble on Jupinocops out of the way. There's not much you do for the torso other than just clip it in the back here with these clips here. Yeah, and I guess that forms a big old backpack. Oh yeah, then fold these backwards, you know, for this fin style, and the stars on front. And then lastly, just clip the shark arms onto the either side here. And of course, they can only go in this direction. So yeah, there we have the hyper mode. Yeah, I guess it's a armored suit mode for Jupinocops and an aquatic mode. Yeah, I guess, yeah, that's a pretty nice blue and dark green armor up with some absolutely massive stompers. Pretty good for walking on the ocean surface, I guess. Or just weighing down a giant combiner. I mean, that's a really stylized. I mean, like, that's the heel goes all the way back here. And yeah, in the little jetpack booster thing. Almost forgot to put the Mega Core on here. Thing on the shoulder. Yeah, I wish Jupinocops could hold this sword. Yeah, but the hand sizes are different. So, best you can do is just plug it into this armor piece and then clip it onto the side so you can hold the sword off to the side. Yeah, this single clip wibbliness is pitiful. Oh, and in the show, these bits of kibble come out and just form some sort of energy shield. Can't hold very well together. Darn you, clear plastic. Of all three dual combinations, I think Hypercops is the best one, just because it's the most balanced. Yeah, it's not overly top heavy like the Buster mode, or it's not just all one separate front heavy cannon. It's just pretty balanced throughout. Yeah, and the most stable, of course, because, you know, all those big boots. So yes, I think this is the best combination mode if I had to go with one, other than the final fusion. Now for me to do the big combination event for the first time. For the perfect Juraking foot, it comprises both halves of the Marinesaurus. I mean, this half. Yeah, so yeah, once you get that in, just turn it around. Make sure this skirt flap clips into right here. Yeah, and then I guess this kind of forms a sort of kneecap. Foot mode. 4 extra clips for that to clip in. And then maintaining those side fins on the Tupinocop's legs. Yeah, just be sure to just get that out of the way and then clip those in here. Oh, and then this clips into the underside of this little foot. Oh, for this foot, there's a little turnaround panel here so that these clips come out. That's pretty hidden, that's pretty subtle. Leaving all these little kibbles laid out and down like this. Take the shark cast and then slot them in here. And that's the reason for this vestigial gray piece that really serves no other piece function in any other mode. Yeah, it doesn't look like they actually lock into anything other than this one connection. I thought they would just, be extra support for the legs, but they're not. They're just kibbles stuck onto the back of the legs. You gotta be careful not to pop those off, and then this goes right here, like I have to do with the hyper mode. Fold the arms back. To parts form the Jetsaurus, just take off the legs. As I said, that's compromising the stability of the individual robot, but then, just for that one mode, and then turn those dino heads around, and then just basically wrap it around those buster mode holes. You also have to get this out of the way, so... Yep, so now he has chest dragon heads. Yeah, I think just generally fold it up like this. So the wings go back onto these spring-loaded nubs. They hold, but how securely? And then take the legs folded in the jet mode configuration. Yeah, and I guess just clip them onto these holes here, these turbine-shaped holes here, and aesthetically making sure the purple fin points outward. Yeah, I guess these are just Ghibli trails, like tail trails, just for the Gundam style wing, and then, oh, yep, speaking of wing, yeah, that one connection point, I don't trust it. No, if these reach the ground, they could provide extra heel support to support the really back heaviness of the thing now. Yeah, so we gotta counterbalance it with the Buster mode arms, and but first, flip these out to the side. Now they're the perfect Juraking arms. Also, there are hands in here, so there's a single thumb and 4 molded fingers. Hands which can also be revealed in the Buster mode if you wanted. I don't know, just big meaty hands on this. Yeah, that's a look. Yeah, unless you just don't want to have that, and that's why these were just your primary arms. 4-handed mode. Yeah, the same problem here. This hinge does not lock in, so I just have to really put it in straight and make sure not to pop off anything else. Then for the final embellishments, this big old crotch piece. Yeah, that just slots right in the middle there, and then the perfect Juraking face. Yeah, this is just a mask. This is essentially a mask with this little head crest separate to kind of cover it up, and then so that's not a helmet you have to replace. It just goes right over the existing helmet. And then clip Firesaurus' extra chest to one side. Yeah, so that's what those clips were for. And the weapon on the other side, just the water cannon mode. On this block, we still don't have any use for this extra block. And then finally decorating them with the decors. Yeah, just try to color match them. And then Marinesaurus' shoulders are now kneecaps, so you can just slide Quoa on this one, and then Mega on the other one. Behold the perfect Juraking, the successor of Juraking, not the same as Juraking. Once you spend like a whole 30 minutes getting all of those separate parts together, you have a very tall and imposing centerpiece of a combiner. Yeah, it's not quite the Super Sentai style combiner. Yeah, well, it does, maybe it could evoke that, but it is more the Dino vehicle style combiner. So I mean that's even though it's kind of the combiner where it's one central component and then everything else wrapped around it. I guess these kind of balance out the pretty scrawny tiny body of the main Jupitocons, although the arms are looking a little short in contrast with those very big legs. Also, quite impressively, it manages to use all the parts except for a few accessories. I mean, especially this accessory. Yeah, but if you really want to keep them all together, I suppose you could still holster those, you know, although even though that looks a little dinky for this massive thing. And then the sword. It's not official, but I suppose you're gonna kind of wedge it in there. Really would have liked to have a separate Dino sword, the thing that's only in the show. And the show model did take some liberties adjusting the proportions of the pieces to have an ideal fit, yeah, such as making the arms smaller so that the wings would be more visible. Yeah, and it's just also some differences, like it rearranged the kibble, like these were actually upside down, yeah, it just reversed. And then the shark heads were actually on the sides. That would have been much better than just leaving them just on very fragile back of the legs. With this much going on, the articulation is pretty much Zord. It's pretty much a Zord. You just combine it and then don't pose it much because of stability. And yeah, it stands there to look cool. Yeah, you know, as you can imagine, the skirt piece gets in the way of that, and then the kibble falls off. But I suppose the few bits of articulation that remain are just, you know, the head swivel. But even that gets blocked with this kibble. And I suppose the arms, can move a little bit since it's a different combination. So yeah, the arms go around, the arms go up. Just a little bit. And then still has the Buster mode articulation and the extra hand articulation. Yeah, I don't think Jetsaurus' extra shoulder ratchets have enough tension or spring to hold them on securely. Well, yeah, I guess as long as you don't jostle it around too much. Yeah, but I guess if wedged out slightly the wrong way, it could fall off. But and I guess if I were to improve this, I guess, you know, just don't make this a single hinge, just make this a ratchet or something. Or just some separate strong ratchet already built in here and you just slide it over. You know, a system like this. Just a ratchet built in here and then just slide it on so that locks in and you have a good ratchet strength. The name Perfect Juraking sounds a little pretentious because this is not that perfect. If your interpretation of perfect is having, you know, just good articulation and function and just a combination experience, which, I mean, this is a lot. I mean, this entire season and toy line was very ambitious. I can commend them for that. Very ambitious, like an all-in-one toy. Like one toy gets you 4 modes. Robot, vehicle, combiner part, and another combiner part. And yeah, that's a lot of moving parts, a lot of moving visually parts. Yeah, but even the smaller combination modes don't do that well because there are just not enough connection points. I mean, they connect, but they'll probably just fall apart easily, and yeah, they'll lock very easily. So I'm not sure how a kid's gonna do this. Just a grown-up's gonna have to do this. Just put it all together with big man hands, and he just leaves it on a shelf because yeah, this is a pretty good, impressive display piece. Yeah, just like a Zord, just like a big Zord, just combine it and leave it on a shelf to make it look cool. But I guess they're pretty good individual toys. And of course, you know, the main central one is the best, while the other one's a hassle to get them into parts-forming alt modes. On one hand, yeah, you would think like all-in-one is a good thing, yeah, just having, you know, all the things and all the combination. As I said, some of the combinations just weren't built for that. Not enough locking integrity. The original Juraking was just a small little thing, just small pieces with ridiculously tight joints, but if those joints were better, that would be a good standalone figure. But still, I'm glad they went with a new direction, just some more innovations better than just the concept Perfect Juraking as a Juraking reskin in space. And who knows, there may or may not be a toy version of the Gold Perfect Juraking, powered up by the core versions of the returning characters Jurex and Jutops. Okay, so what now for Jurassic Cops and Studio Button? Well, they finally got out their cinematic movie this year, which chronologically right between season 2 and 3, but that was really delayed, and thus it did some numbers in the box office. And then they already teased Jurassic Cops season 4 months ago, including, I guess, just updated versions of the original Jurassic Cops spots. But in the meantime, of course, Studio Button has other kids franchises they're making on their own, like Dino Man and Monster Juice. And because of that, I don't think they had any incentive to work on that Tobot V. Well, thank you for coming along my personal journey experiencing this small Korean company's robot toys. And until next time I dare try another small Korean toy company's complete lineup, this is KRBrickBot signing off.